Losing muscle isn't just about looking weaker. It directly impacts your energy, your metabolism, your blood sugar control, even your mobility. And for men, muscle loss can happen way faster than you think. So in this video, I'll reveal 5 warning signs that you're losing muscle, and then more importantly, how to prevent that muscle loss. My name is Dr. Adam. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a diabetes coach, and I help men raise their testosterone and lower blood sugar levels so they can have more energy to perform better. And muscle mass and strength training are 2 things that I recently changed my mind about. At this point, I found that muscle is one of the most critical aspects to a guy's overall health. And my mistake was that in the past, I assumed that building muscle was more relevant for bodybuilders and football players or just guys looking for superficial health results. So I was the chronic cardio guy. I was biking every day. I could hike miles on end, but I never really focused on a consistent strength training schedule. And now I can admit that that exercise approach is wrong because it turns out that there's a sweet spot with muscle mass. So somewhere between, probably where you're at right now and where Arnold Schwarzenegger was in his prime. Because of all the different tissue types in the body, muscle is the metabolic powerhouse. So if you have high cholesterol, if you're overweight, if you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, those are all signs of metabolic dysfunction, and muscle can help fix part of what's causing these issues, which is insulin resistance. Because muscle regulates blood sugar. It stores and it uses glucose even when you're sleeping, which is a pretty sweet deal, which again is key because muscle helps prevent and even helps reverse insulin resistance. And I mean, just having more muscle means that you're burning more calories even at rest. And of course, the added bonus with muscle is that it improves the way you look and what you're physically capable of doing. And there's a saying that I hear often that bugs me. I'm just getting old, or this must be what 50 feels like. But what's hard to say is if the way you are feeling is related more to your age or related more to physical weakness. Because warning sign number 1 that you're losing muscle is that you feel weaker. So if you're struggling with your grip strength, or maybe struggling with completing the same workout that you've always done, or just struggling to lift heavy objects, those are all signs that you're getting weaker. I was recently on a flight to Seattle and I saw a guy struggling to lift his suitcase overhead. And you just see in his face that this was something new. He had done that 1,000 times. It was the first time that he's felt that weakness. And one of the main causes of weakness that I see is this 1-2 punch of sarcopenia combined with a lack of strength training. Sarcopenia means we naturally lose 1 to 3% of muscle mass starting around our mid-30s, which sounds like a good excuse to blame your age, but regular resistance training stimulates muscle protein synthesis, which helps you maintain or even increase muscle mass and strength as you age. And speaking of sarcopenia, I really think this concept explains the dad bod, because the average age of new dads, at least in the US, is about 30, and then sarcopenia starts, so you're sleeping less, you have less time to exercise, and then you start losing muscle and gaining fat. A couple of years later, you wake up with a dad bod. So warning sign number 2 that you're losing muscle is a slower metabolism. So you start losing muscle, which then reduces the calories that you burn, making it easier to gain fat. And I hope you're starting to see a vicious cycle forming here, because then you add poor blood sugar control and this vicious cycle of fat gain and muscle loss gets even worse. So if you plateau on a diet that has worked in the past, check your muscle mass. Warning sign number 3 is fatigue or low stamina. So symptoms like exhaustion or fatigue or low energy, those are the most common reasons why guys come to see me. And I'm always trying to decipher fatigue from a chronic issue like hypothyroidism or low testosterone versus just your run-of-the-mill lack of strength and conditioning, which is also known as being under-muscled. So if you're tired after minimal activity, if you get winded from carrying a suitcase up the stairs, that's a sign that you have less muscle, less energy for daily tasks and workouts. Warning sign number 4 is unexplained weight loss. So the goal is really to simply lose weight. We want to lose fat, especially visceral fat around the organs in your abdomen. Because losing weight in general might be a sign that you're losing muscle too, not fat. So for example, if your waist measurement stays the same but your weight goes down, that suggests that you're losing muscle, not fat. And this can be caused by a lack of strength training, not eating enough protein, or even taking an anti-diabetic med like Ozempic, or a combination of those 3. Okay, warning sign number 5 is a slower recovery. So lingering soreness, an injury that's taking longer to heal. Guys are often trying to place the blame here on low testosterone levels, which could be part of the problem, but it's likely in addition to muscle loss. And if you are trying to decipher if it is low T versus being under-muscled, then check them both. So assess, don't guess. Go to a men's health doc who can run a full testosterone panel beyond just total testosterone. And then you could get a body composition scan to assess your muscle mass. Okay, here's how to prevent muscle loss. So strength training is my number 1 strategy. Of course, Again, this is really a non-negotiable. If you don't want to spend hours in the gym, then just aim for more effective workouts. So prioritize compound movements, engaging multiple muscles at the same time. So squats and deadlifts and push-ups. And the goal is to start training 2 to 3 times per week for 30 minutes. Exclusively use kettlebells. That's been my strategy for the last 2 years. It's efficient and effective. Another way to prevent muscle loss, in addition to lifting weights, is to eat enough protein. And the goal is 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal weight. And that means for me, I weigh 180 pounds, so my goal is 180 grams of protein per day, which is a lot, which is why it helps to have a personalized diet plan from a doc or health coach. To prevent muscle loss, you also want to manage blood sugar, because stable blood sugar, stable glucose, leads to less muscle breakdown. So you also want to stay active daily, dispersing walks throughout the day, and you'll also want to prioritize recovery. So sleeping 7 to 8 hours per night, especially after training day, with a focus on sleep quality and not just quantity. So maybe if you get your sleep routine dialed, you can sleep less but better. And all of these things, from your muscle mass to how deep you're sleeping, can be tracked. So you don't have to guess if your strategy is working or not. Because big picture, muscle loss from old age and sarcopenia is preventable with the right strategies. If you're noticing any of these warning signs, then it's time to rebuild your strength and muscle. The good news is that I've helped even 70-year-old guys build muscle, so anyone can do it. So don't let age limit your life. And if you're sitting there and you're saying, well, what about my chronic back pain or my shoulder pain? That just means that it's leg day for you. So focus on training the largest muscles in your body that aren't causing you discomfort. The point is muscle mass is critical. I mean, it's just absolutely critical for your health. So just start somewhere and build from there. All right, if that was helpful, let me know in the comments, and feel free to subscribe for more videos related to men's health and performance. Take care.